Hi guys, so today I'm filming the second installment of my kind of university week like mini series. So this is my first year university kind of experience advice. I have actually made like a first term university video as well. I guess it's kind of the same actually, right? So the general feeling, I wouldn't say I enjoyed my first year of university. It was definitely not what I was expecting. I just always felt myself wanting to be back home, and I felt down a lot of the year. It's definitely down to more like the social aspect of university rather than like the actual degree, like the course I'm doing. But obviously university is about the whole experience, and I think the kind of social side of it wasn't fabulous for me. All I could kind of look forward to was just going back home, and honestly I'm actually lucky that I'm at York because we have quite short terms as well. We only have 10-week terms. Even then, like 10 weeks, like a lot of the time just felt like it would take so long, and I just couldn't wait for the 10 weeks to be up. And I obviously went home, other than exam season actually. The last time I didn't go home, but it was shorter anyway. But the first 2 terms I was as much as I could. It's very hard to explain, but I just felt like I didn't belong, and that I just wanted to be back in London. That was all I was ever looking forward to. The not quite positive, but like kind of positive side to that was that the way our deadlines work is that they're all at the end of term. I'm not saying they weren't hard, but it was like meeting deadlines felt like I was going to be closer to home. So I was like, oh yeah, let's do work. Let's get this essay done with. Let's go home. It's like a common thing that you hear, like being distracted by like the social aspect of uni and not like meeting deadlines. That definitely wasn't me. Oh yeah, obviously I've got my grade back already, and I actually finished off with a 2-1, which I'm really happy about. I got 66, 4 away from a first. I'm not sure if it's all courses that are like this or like English at all unis, but like at York it's so hard to get a first. I got like 2 firsts in my essays, and people were like, oh my god, you got 70. It was just so hard to like reach that boundary. So I honestly, I wonder people who did get first. There must be some, but anyway, obviously 66 is really good, and I'm really happy with that. I actually did Italian as well. In the second year you do a language literature module, and I really wanted to do Dante. Basically need like a prerequisite, you need to be able to speak Italian, so I had to kind of take that additionally. And towards the end I got so stressed after the Easter break going into 3rd term. I was like, I need to drop Italian. Like I was determined I was going to drop Italian. I almost left my Italian textbook here. Then for some reason I was just like, you know what, I might as well do it. I've gotten this far, I might as well. And I got a first in Italian. I'm not gonna lie, I hadn't been doing that much throughout the year, so I was like, crap, I'm gonna have to revise so much for Italian. I was worried that that was gonna kind of take away from my exam, like that I wouldn't revise enough for my actual like English exam. I'm so happy that I decided to do it, because I ended up with a high 2-1 in my course and getting a first. I got 74 in Italian anyway, so now I can do Dante, and I got good grades. There we go, don't doubt yourself guys. Basically the point I was making is that because I'd always stay in my room, and in fact like the last term after we finished exams and Luke came for like a week, I discovered so much that was around me. Like Luke was like, how have you not seen these things before, Moesha? They're like 2 minutes away from your room. And I was like, I don't leave my room, Luke. I felt like that was a summary. That was not a summary. I've been talking for too long. I'm going to take it right back to freshers. That's what like a lot of people want to know about. I was really like obviously excited to start university, and I was really excited for freshers. I talk about this in my first term university video as well, but I think I went out like most of the days of freshers. Like 4 or 5 days of freshers week. I feel like I don't even remember most of it. I was like pretty drunk all of freshers. But I just remember that it was fun. I did have a good time, and I'm not a massive party person. You know, I go into this, but that's part of the reason I feel like I didn't enjoy the social aspect of university as much. But honestly, I'm not a massive like fan of clubbing that much. I'm not always like one of those people who's like craving like clubbing and wants to go like, you know, multiple times a week. That's definitely not me. But I did really enjoy freshers. It was just towards the end where I got like really tired out by it, and where I started to feel a little bit homesick. So that was freshers for me. Did I meet a lot of people in freshers? Honestly, I feel like I didn't that much. It's a collegiate university, so there are colleges, and how York the Freshers Week is organised is that colleges have their own freshers. It's like organised by college. So obviously we just kind of went out with our flatmates and our sticks. Sticks are second and third year contacts who kind of like help you settle in. They're just there to kind of make you feel like more welcome, and I loved my sticks. So like, if you're watching this video, it was when I did the first term of university video. I like forgot to mention sticks whatsoever, and he was like, oh my god, how did you forget to talk about us? Serg and Zoe, I love you. They are amazing sticks. They're so fun. They were always like kind of like trying to get us out and stuff, and this wasn't just freshers as well, like throughout the year. So yeah, A-star sticks. But yeah, how freshers worked is like we'd usually like come out with our sticks and like flatmates. So I kind of met people like in my block. We'd have pre-drinks, and then like flats would mix, like you'd go to other flats. So that's how I kind of got to know some people like in my block, other flats. Just generally like we didn't mingle too much like outside of blocks, and especially outside of colleges. Next, flatmates and halls. Honestly, I was so excited for halls. Like I was one of those people who was like really panicking that I would not get like accommodation in halls and have to live in the ones that are run by like other companies like Student Castle. Those ones all have to like find a house. I loved the Fresh Meat TV show, but I did not want that to be like my reality. I felt like I wanted to live in halls and experience it. In hindsight, halls are not good. Well, they're not bad, but they're not for me, shall we say. My room was like right at the front of the main door at the corridor, so I heard everything, and sometimes it was so annoying when I really did just want to sleep. But people decided that they would kind of be up till 5 AM or like come in at 5 AM from clubbing and like just make loads of noise. Obviously it's university and that's going to happen in halls. It's not everyone who wants to be involved in that fun at that time, so that was a bit annoying sometimes. I think just generally it's almost more impersonal as well. It's a bit like everyone's like living in their separate house, because we had ensuite as well. I think that was something of my flat. Again, I talked about this in my first term video. We all got on like a kind of general level, like we were like okay with each other, like civil and stuff, but we weren't like, you know, you just hear that story of like going to university and then your flatmates that you live with are like, you're super close and you're all like really best friends with each other and you like chill in each other's rooms and you chill in the kitchen all the time. My flat wasn't really like that. I definitely noticed that we tried to do that, I think, first term. But there was just like no clicking going on, and then eventually like some people found their own group of friends who they like bring over all the time, and it was just a bit like living in a house with people that you don't get on with. The flip side of that is that I felt like a lot of people did get on with their flatmates. That's what I feel like made it hard for me to find friends as well, because I feel like what happened is that everyone kind of formed friends very, very quickly, especially with their flatmates, because let's be honest, flatmates are like safer to be friends with because you don't have to actively do anything, you just like live with them. So if you were lucky enough to like really get on with your flatmates, it felt like everyone just like bonded with their flatmates and therefore wouldn't really look elsewhere, leading on to friends. It was very strange for me because I always say this, but I feel like I noticed that people formed friends quickly, like I just said. Literally within a few weeks, friendship groups had already seemed to like already formed and be quite solid. So it felt like you're the outside person looking in and you don't want to like kind of infiltrate friendship groups, but at the same time you do want to find friends because no one likes being in a place where you live there and you just have no one to talk to. I'm not going to use any names in this video. I feel like I made friends with one person like kind of all throughout first term. We both kind of were talking about how we found it really strange that everyone like seemed to kind of want to form friendships immediately and like kind of stick to that friendship group, because you can't really get to know someone that well in 3 weeks and decide that they're going to be your friend like for the whole time. That's how we kind of were friends. And then I just don't know what happened, like second term, this person kind of like cut me off, just said that they felt like I wasn't the kind of person that they'd be friends with. I still kind of actually talk to that person like here and there. I honestly said this from like the beginning, and I said that in the first term video, that I wasn't gonna bend myself to be friends with people because I feel like friendships to some extent are natural. Obviously you have to put yourself out there and be friendly so that people like you and so you can form friends, but I also don't feel like it's something where you have to, you know, beg someone to be your friend or like change yourself or like really force yourself into a friendship group or to be someone's friend. So I was just like, okay, that's fine. So in second term, that's kind of where I found like a group of friends. I feel like that made second term feel a bit easier. I remember second term going so much more quickly than first term, just because I did have people that were like my go-to kind of like people, like that you just go to lectures with, after lectures, have like coffee with, have lunch with, that kind of thing. I feel like this just tends to happen in groups of friends. Oh, this video is quite hard because it's like, I don't want to hurt, well, it's not like I'm gonna hurt someone's feelings, but I want to be as honest as possible, because I feel like there are so many expectations of university being amazing and very easy to have like a great social time and that kind of thing. So I want to be as honest as I can. Obviously 5 is an odd number, and I felt like 2 of them were close and then 2 of them were close and then there was just me. And I won't lie, it was probably in part like me kind of pushing myself away a little bit. Like, I wouldn't say I initially started doing that though. I feel like I started doing that when I already noticed, like, right, these 2 people really get on, these 2 people really get on, what the hell am I doing here? Just part of the reason why I felt like generally it was hard to connect with a lot of people is because the social life in York is very kind of like clubbing based. You don't even hear York as like a party university. It's not like Leeds or you know, like Manchester or anything like that. Like I said, I'm not massively into it. I didn't want to go out all the time just doing that. It felt like, oh, if I want to be more prominent in this friendship group, then I have to, and I don't want to have to do anything. I'm much more of like a chilled person. Like, I'd rather chill with my friends or like watch something, or like even if we're going out, go to a restaurant, go out to eat, like go to a bar even. I find it very difficult to explain the feeling. Things just don't feel right, and that's kind of how I felt, even though I'd made a group of friends, like I said, that were my go-to, and I still talk to them now. It's just I didn't fit into the box properly, or I didn't feel like I was situated right in that friendship group. It's easy to just stick with what you have, but at the same time, like, it's very difficult me thinking about going to second year now, because I don't really know what's going to happen with that. So I talked a bit about work before when I was summarising, but I thought I'd kind of just share things that are going to help you throughout university and things that I could have done better as well. I've got here, you need to stay on top of it, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. If you're going into university, hopefully you know that it's a very independent studying. Obviously, if you do like a science-based subject, you do tend to have more contact hours, but at the same time, it's still not being spoon-fed to you. And especially if you're going to do an arts subject like English, history, whatever, you have very few contact hours. Yeah, you really need to do your own shit. Basically, lecturers or like tutors would be talking about texts where I'm like, I don't know this text, or like I know of it but I've not read it. Obviously they're academics, they've read all of the books. They kind of a lot of the time assume you've read more than you have. You kind of go through it almost not really knowing if you're doing okay. There's no kind of essay structure to follow. There's no model answers. I think I remember checking on the website, they had model answers, but they are random essays. They're not going to be like, right, write an essay on this. This is the kind of essay we want. Look at this model answer and kind of like basically copy it like they wanted you to do at A-level. It is pretty much just trial and error and trying to figure out what part you're interested in. English especially is very research based. You've got to find your own like secondary text. They're not going to tell you text to even write on. I mean, at your essays, apart from the exam, you didn't even have essay titles. You had to come up with your own essay title. Probably like a couple of times where, because the essay title was bad, it was never going to be a good essay, that kind of thing. Try and get as much help as you can from like tutors and, like I said, doing your own research, but there's no one like, you know, chasing you up to do things. And obviously with deadlines as well, like at the end of the day, if you don't meet deadlines, then you're a bit screwed, basically. We have 3 essays per term. So we had 1 essay during week 8 and then 2 essays during week 10 because York likes to kill you a little bit. 1500 word essay in the week 8, and then on the Monday of week 10, like I said, which was the last week, you had a 1500 word essay, and then by the Friday of week 10 you had a 2000 word essay. So yeah, end of term got very intense. You're just chilling for like the beginning of the term. Suddenly it gets to the end of the term and you're like, oh my god, I have so much work to do. English at York is very fast paced as well. We basically do like a text for only a week. And when I say a week, you have 1 lecture, 1 seminar and 1 workshop, so that's only about 3 or 4 hours spent on studying like a really important text. Like we did Ovid at some point. Like, imagine studying Ovid in 3 hours. Like no. So a lot of it, like I said, is you going away and having to research things. I'm reading a lot of like secondary text based on the text as well, so that you get more of an understanding of what you're actually studying. And I think that's what I'm definitely going to try and do more of. Also, what was really annoying is that we actually had part of our course going on during exam season. Like York has no chill. We had like 2 like mini modules. Those were like modules that you select yourselves. The first 4 weeks, I think our exams were in week 6. We were still learning. We still had to read, participate in lectures and seminars, and all everyone was thinking was, mate, I just want to revise for my exams at this point. Like, can we not do this right now? And we also had to prepare a presentation based on those modules. So yeah, it's very, very intense. Just to add insult to injury, the presentations were after exams, so it's kind of a common thing that exams will be like the end of your year. No, I mean, I think the general thing from this video that you've probably sussed out, and like I said in the beginning anyway, is that I feel like work was okay for me. I'm not gonna lie and say I was like the most brilliant student. I think I was a much better student like first term. I really kept on top of like going to the library, like watching lectures if I like missed them, and I really didn't miss many lectures at all first term. I'd always be in the library. I feel like that slipped a bit into second term. Like I said, I was like still pretty good with work. I'd like make sure I really focused in lectures and seminars. I prepared for my essays like pretty early. Wasn't like lazy about them. Social life, not so much. I just wanted other things out of university than a lot of other people did. Like I said, obviously nightlife is a massive part of university. That's just going to be like pretty much every university. I wanted to go out sometimes, but most of the time I really didn't. My form of like not doing work would be like staying inside and watching Netflix pretty much, and I feel like that's okay. Yeah, I wanted to focus on like other forms of friendship. It is very difficult, I feel, and yeah, I'm just like, I don't know if I'm nervous or excited going into second year. I feel like it's going to be so painful going back. The summer already has gone so quickly because I don't want to go back. It's going to be horrible. I feel like I'm just going to be crying for 3 days, but it's cool, sure. It does go really quickly though, to be fair. At the time it didn't, but in hindsight, like when I think that I've finished the whole year of university and I've only got 2 years left, it's pretty quick, but at the same time I'm so nervous to go back. I do want to find myself settled and like really enjoy second year, because I don't want it to be like first year, but we'll see about that. I feel like one thing I could have done better was like societies. I did go to yoga like once, but yoga didn't really seem like the place you'd make friends because everyone just goes there. You set up your mat and you do yoga and you just leave after that. I felt like it wasn't very social. I wanted to do cheerleading because I feel like I've always just loved cheerleading. It seems so cool. But I was like, oh, I'm probably not fit enough. Like, I guess I second guess myself a little bit in like joining societies, but I feel like I'll definitely try and do that. Maybe if I do throw myself in some societies, it'll be better, but I find it hard to kind of believe that that's where you'd like make amazing friends, because I feel like you all go to one place. Like even on my course at lectures, everyone would go and then back and do their own thing, but yeah, I'll definitely give it a go. I hope this hasn't been like a super negative video. I don't want to be like, don't go to university, it's shit. I would still say go, definitely. It's just I didn't have the imagined ultimate like university experience that is usually expected. But I think it's important that we talk more about people who don't have a good time at university, because I feel like it's probably more common than we think. But everyone's like, yeah, you're gonna make your friends for life at uni, it's gonna be fabulous, and yeah, that's not really happening for me. But anyway, if you're waiting on your results, good luck. I know how nervous I was for results day, and hopefully you're excited to go to university as well and you get your university of choice. Even though, like I've said, my experience hasn't been the greatest, you should still be really excited to go to university, because I feel like honestly most people do have a fabulous experience. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it and you found it helpful. Hopefully subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.